Well, the crime crisis continues in the city of brotherly love as a Democrat congresswoman is carjacked in broad daylight just one day after a city police officer was shot while responding to an armed robbery. Joining me now, Philadelphia criminal justice attorney Bill Brennan. Bill, thanks so much for being with us today. And look, we're going to get to that carjacking in a moment, as well as all these liberal politicians seeming to deny that there is a spike in crime. But first of all, I just want to read some stats to you. Year to date, the 2020 homicide stat is up 13%. Robbery involving a gun up 28.6%. Cars stolen up 15.4%. So to set the scene, what are you seeing? Is this a reality?
Well, unfortunately, Benjamin, it is. You know, I've been born and raised in the Philadelphia area, and I've been practicing in the area of criminal defense almost 35 years, and I've never seen anything like it. You know, it's frightening, frankly. And Congresswoman Scanlon was carjacked at gunpoint yesterday at FDR Park, which is a major destination in the city. You know, it's just it's out of control, Benjamin.
That's right, and she was a staunch supporter herself of police reforms, particularly in the aftermath of the George Floyd death in May 2020. Here's what Philadelphia Mayor Jim Kenney said on the carjacking. He said, "Everyone deserves to feel safe in our city, and sadly that hasn't always been the case this year. It is disheartening and infuriating that criminals feel emboldened to commit such reckless crime in the middle of the day in what should be a place of peace, one of our city's parks." I just wonder what you think about some of these liberal politicians who seem to be denying the fact that that such crimes exist. And let me just also play a soundbite for you from the Philadelphia DA, who walked back some crime surge doubts, but admittedly started off saying they didn't exist.
There is not a big spike in crime. That is not true. There is also not a big spike in violent crime. Neither one of these things is true. I failed in not acknowledging that pain and that suffering.
Well, so he acknowledges that he didn't acknowledge the pain and the suffering, but he was saying that this crime didn't exist, that he didn't see it. How are they not seeing the stats that you have so clearly pointed to earlier?
You know, Benjamin, I don't know. I've known these two gentlemen most of my entire adult life. Jim Kenney came up through the ranks. He was a neighborhood guy. Came through our city council system, and he should know better, frankly. And Larry Krasner was a fine lawyer for many years. He was a criminal defense lawyer, as a matter of fact. How you cannot see it or deny it is beyond the pale. I saw that former mayor Michael Nutter wrote an op-ed in some of the national newspapers, picked it up, where he called Mr. Krasner out. And you know, I have to agree with him. I was driving home from a holiday celebration the other night in the heart of Center City and couldn't get through the street because some young guys on ATVs and motorbikes were just blocking traffic, laughing, you know, circling cars. It's the Wild West. It's Dodge City, and it's a damn shame. It really is. Philadelphia is a wonderful, welcoming city, and it's become really just out of control. Very frustrating for me as a lifelong Philadelphian.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. I'm sure it is, Bill. I'm afraid that's all we've got time for today, Bill, but I hope that people pay attention, particularly with this carjacking, with this congresswoman, that maybe this wakes up some people who are calling for criminal reform and they start supporting the police again. But thank you, Bill, for joining us this morning. We really appreciate it.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.